and welcome back to another segment of food nutrients or nutrition in animals for secondary schools, ambapo ndani yake tuliongelea food nutrients. So this is a continuation of what we have previously learned. In the previous video tuliangalia carbohydrates. In today's video we will be looking at proteins and lipids. So let's get into it. Kwa leo tutaanza na proteins. So proteins, these are organic compounds that are made up of one or more chains of amino acids. And amino acids hizi ni zile building blocks ambazo tunazihitaji katika kugrow au kurepair tissues. So mfano kama mtu ameumia au hata wale watoto ambao wanakuwa, they need a lot of proteins to provide amino acids which are used for growth or repairing damaged tissues. Na tunaweza tukapata proteins katika lean meats, tunaweza tukapata katika fish, tunapata katika eggs, beans, nuts and the likes. Na katika hizi tutaangalia protein molecules ambazo zina types zake, ziko mbili. Tuna fibrous proteins na globular proteins. Fibrous proteins hizi ni insoluble na elongated, wakati globular proteins hizi ni soluble na compact. Now, depending on the syllabus, I'm not sure if the secondary school syllabuses zina cover hizi. Kama your syllabus does not cover it, then you're free to leave it. So katika hizi fibrous and globular proteins molecules pia zinaweza kwa ujumla zikawa categorized into 4 structures, ambazo hizo structures zake kuna primary, secondary, tertiary and quaternary structures. So if this is included in your syllabus, guys, please tell me ili nitengeneze another video to discuss hizi types of protein molecules in deep. If not, let's continue. So kwa leo tutaangalia composition pia ya hizi proteins. Composition ya protein tunaongelea polypeptides, tunaongelea peptides na tunaongelea amino acids. So starting with polypeptides, polypeptides hizi ni longer chains. They are long chains of amino acids ambazo zinaweza zikawa folded into functional 3-dimensional structures, which we also know as proteins. Then we have the peptides. These peptides are shorter chains. Keep in mind, polypeptides ni longer chains, peptides ni shorter chains that are made up of 5 to 10 amino acid groups. Then we have the amino acid itself, which is the fundamental organic molecule which combines in order to form proteins. So ukiangalia katika image yetu hapo tuna amino acid. Amino acid hii ina combine into zenyewe kwa zenyewe zinajicombine into peptide. Then the peptides, if they're combined, later on form polypeptides which form protein. Now the amino acids kama hapo nilivyosema zina combine to form peptide, but they are held by bonds. These bonds tunaziita peptide bonds. So peptide bonds are the bonds that hold amino acids to form peptides and polypeptides, to form proteins in general. Now, what is the chemical structure of the amino acid? Generally, the chemical structure ya amino acid, an amino acid is built around a central carbon atom. So we have an alpha carbon atom, ambayo katika hii alpha carbon atom inajiattach katika 4 distinct groups. These 4 distinct groups, we have the amino group ambayo ni NH2, then we have the carboxyl group COOH, then we also have a hydrogen atom, and then we also have a unique side chain which is also known as the R group. So that is it. Angalia hiyo image hapa ambayo tunayo. We have a central carbon atom, the alpha carbon atom. Kushoto kwake on the left in an amino group. On the right it has a carboxyl group. Then on top we have the hydrogen atom, and on the lower chain kutakuwa na ile chain ya R group. That's the chemical structure ya amino acid. It's as simple as that. Then the amino acids zinaweza zikawa pia categorized into 2 categories as well, depending on how essentially the body needs them. So we have 2 types ambazo hizo 2 categories. Tuna essential amino acids and we have the non-essential and conditional amino acids. So the essential amino acids, these are essential to the body, as the name itself indicates. but with this mwili hawezi kutengeneza, so we cannot produce the body can they cannot be made by the body cannot synthesize them, but they are essential to the body. So we obtain them from the foods that we eat. Examples of this would include histidine, lysine, and valine. Then we have the non-essential and conditional amino acids. The non-essential amino acids, it doesn't mean that they're not essential. They are essential to the body. The body produces them. So we have examples of this. We have the alanine, aspartic acid, glutamic acid, and serine. Conditional amino acids, they're generally non-essential, obviously, but they are essential at times. Ndio maana zimeitwa conditional. So at times they are, sometimes they are important to the body. Whenever we have an illness, whenever we are stressed, or we need rapid growth, the conditional amino acids are used, despite them being non-essential. So examples of the conditional amino acids, we have the arginine, glutamine, and tyrosine. So that's all about the amino acids. Now, protein does not involve a lot of things kama tulivyoona kwenye carbohydrates. That's it. And lastly, tutaangalia two functions za proteins, then we'll go into lipids. So with the functions of proteins, the first function ya protein ni growth and maintenance, ambapo tumeshaongelea hapo previously kwamba we need a lot of proteins for growth, we need proteins for maintenance of different body tissues, for repairing the tissues. So kwa kuangalia hizi, they are very, very important in children, pregnant women, pia watu ambao wameumia, ambao watu wamefanywa for example surgeries, they need more protein. Obviously we all need proteins for different body functions, lakini kwenye growth and maintenance we need them as well. Then we also need proteins for different enzymatic reactions or enzymatic biochemical reactions. So they function as catalysts. So amino acids obviously ni byproducts ya zile consumed proteins. When we take in proteins, the proteins are broken down. They are broken down to peptides, then to amino acids. Then these amino acids are used by the body again to produce enzymes. So the enzymes help with different biochemical reactions. For example, tunaongelea digestion, tunaongelea energy production, tunaongelea muscle contraction. So whenever we need the enzymes, we need proteins. So that's why proteins are also essential, because they are used for causing the biochemical reactions. Then we also have protein being needed because they act as messengers. So we have proteins again, amino acids zinatumika to produce hormones. The hormones are chemical messengers that aid communication between your cells. So whenever the cells and body tissues and different body organs need communication, we need chemical messengers, we need hormones. There's hormones such as insulin, zinasaidia katika communication. Different hormones we have in the body. So an example, as I've mentioned, insulin. We also have the growth hormones. Ambazo hizi zina coordinate different body functions by transmitting the signals between the cells or the tissues and the body organs. Then proteins also provide structure. So as I said before, we had the fibrous protein, then we also had the globular protein, but now for the structure, we will be talking about the fibrous proteins. Fibrous proteins, for example, we have collagen, elastin, and keratin. These provide the fundamental framework for example, the skin, hair, nails, bones, tendons, and cartilage. Well, they're very important. Here we have proteins being used for fluid and pH balance. They play a vital role in regulating the concentrations of acids and bases within the blood, and as well as other body fluids. So proteins, for example, albumin, obviously albumin inatengenezwa na proteins. So albumin zina regulate body fluids by exerting osmotic pressure. Na they act as buffers in order to maintain hizi appropriate pH levels ambazo tunahitaji katika the body. Obviously, when the pH level is not right, then the body is not right as well. So we need proteins to maintain the fluid and pH balance. Then we also need proteins for immunity or body defense. We have the antibodies, or known as immunoglobulins, ambazo hizi ni Y-shaped proteins that are produced in order for the immunity system to identify, and then they bind on them, then they attack the foreign invaders such as bacteria, viruses. So these immunoglobulins are made of proteins themselves. So you can see another function ya proteins hapa. Lastly, tuna function ya protein ambayo ni transportation and storage. Kuna proteins mbalimbali ambazo zinatumika kama biological delivery systems, zinahitajika kwa ajili ya kudeliver vitu mbalimbali. An example of this would include the hemoglobin, ambayo hemoglobin made up of protein inatumika to carry oxygen throughout the body. So we can see another function of protein as well. That's it about proteins. Now we will move on to lipids. Now with lipids, what are lipids? Lipids are organic substances that are insoluble in water but are soluble in organic solvents such as ether and benzene. Kwa hiyo hizi lipids they are insoluble in water and they are soluble in organic solvents. And they include fats, also known as triglycerides, oils, waxes, phospholipids, steroids such as cholesterol. Now, in this case, however, we will be discussing fats and oils because they are the main forms of dietary lipids. Tukumbuke kwamba katika vyakula vyetu tuna find a lot of fats and lipids. We usually don't find waxes in our foods. So we will focus on the fats and oils. The difference between fats and oil generally ni kwamba fats are solid at room temperature, while the oils are liquid at room temperature. That's generally it. Tutafocus kwenye fats au triglycerides. Na fats, nini ni fat? Yani what's the meaning of fats? Fats is in a group of lipids. It's a subgroup of lipids, also known as triglycerides, as I've said before. So let's keep it in mind kwamba all fats are lipids, but not all lipids are fats. So let's keep that in mind. Tutaangalia hapa structure ya fats, ambayo generally katika fat we have a glycerol group, ambayo katika hii glycerol group we have three groups za fatty acids zimejiattach pale. So this is what makes up a fat molecule. Katika hii fat sasa, how does the body metabolize fat? We obviously usually use the enzyme lipase, ambayo ita break down the bond between the glycerol and the fatty acids. So in order to produce the glycerol and three fatty acids independently. Kwa tutakuwa na glycerol molecule yenyewe na hizi three fatty acids zimekuwa broken down. Discuss sasa katika fatty acids and glycerol, tutaongelea fatty acids peke yake. Fatty acids, what are fatty acids? So fatty acids are aliphatic monocarboxylic acid that are liberated by hydrolysis of fats. So tuliongelea pale kwamba fat inakuwa broken down into fatty acids and glycerol. Kwa hiyo ile process ni process ya hydrolysis ambayo inakuja ina produce fatty acids. Now fatty acids can be broken down into two. Zinaweza zikawa essential au zinaweza kuwa non-essential. Kwa hiyo hizi ni categories au types za fatty acids ambazo ni hizo non-essential au essential. So they are essential fatty acids can be obtained from the foods that are eaten, while non-essential fatty acids can be produced by the body itself. So the body cannot produce the essential fatty acids, as I've said. Hence, it is very important for us to consume food that contains essential fatty acids. Such foods include oily fish, nuts, avocados, oils, seeds kama vile sunflower seeds, sesame. Kwa hiyo hizi ni very essential ili the body iweze obtain the essential fatty acids for a body's normal functioning. Pia the fatty acids tunaweza tukazi group into two types. These usually two types za fatty acids zinaweza zikawa saturated fatty acids au zinaweza kuwa unsaturated fatty acids. So obviously nimetaja hapo zinaweza kuwa essential au non-essential, pia zinaweza zikawa saturated au unsaturated. So depending on the necessity of the body tutasema kwamba ni essential au non-essential. Depending on structure tunaongelea saturated au unsaturated. So in this case hapa tunaongelea structure. So the first type ambayo ni saturated fatty acids, these are fatty acids that have a straight molecular chain with no double bonds. Keep that in mind, no double bonds. Because the saturated fatty acids do not have double bonds, they are able to closely stay together, so they remain solid at room temperature. And it is because of this, consuming them in large amount would raise cholesterol and increase the rate of heart diseases. So we should not take them in large quantities. Sources of saturated fatty acids include animal products like red meat, butter, ghee, cheese, katika maziwa haya ambayo hayajawa yani whole milk, not skimmed, it's whole milk, as well as mfano kama kwenye plant-based oils kama ile palm oil and coconut oil. That's it about saturated fatty acids. Then we have the unsaturated fatty acids. With the unsaturated fatty acids, these ones can either have one or more double bonds in their chemical structure. So because of the presence of double bonds, they are able to bend. So they create bends within the molecule, and they are able to stay liquid at room temperature. Now they are known for improving blood cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and supporting heart health. And kwa sababu kama hapo tumesema they either have one bond or more double bonds, so the unsaturated fatty acids can be divided as well. We have the mono unsaturated fatty acids, then we have the poly unsaturated fatty acids. With the mono, remember what we talked about in the previous video, mono 1. So mono unsaturated fatty acid, we're saying that they have one double bond only. We can find these in avocados, avocado oil, olive oil, tunaweza tukapata kwenye nuts kama vile almonds and pecans. Na mfano mzuri wa fatty acids, mono unsaturated fatty acids tutaongelea ni oleic acid, ambayo watu wengine pia wanaweza wakawa wanaijua kwa jina la omega 9. Kwa hiyo hii ni a very large this is the main mono unsaturated fat ambayo tunaipata katika diets zetu mara nyingi. Then we have the polyunsaturated fatty acids. With the polyunsaturated, poly, which contains more than one double bond, obviously, as the name indicates. Now hizi zina include, for example, the omega-3 with the omega-6 fatty acids ambazo tunaweza tukapata katika fatty fishes, for example, salmon. We have the mackerel, pia tunaweza tukapata kwenye flax seeds, tunaweza tukapata kwenye walnuts and canola oil. Omega-3 na omega-6 fatty acids, katika zile kama tunakumbuka ni either essential au non-essential. These are essential fatty acids. They are essential. So keep that in mind. Then kuna issue ya muhimu ambayo nataka kuongelea ni trans fats. The trans fats, these are unsaturated fats as well. They are unsaturated fatty acids, lakini chemical structure yake imekuwa changed through a manufacturing process called partial hydrogenation. Kwa hiyo kama tunakumbuka ni kwamba unsaturated fats, kwa sababu they have more than one double bond, because they have one or more double bond, they are able to stay liquid at room temperature. Lakini kwa sababu ya hii process ya hydrogenation, hizi trans fats zinaweza zikabadilika kuwa solid at room temperature, which extends their shelf life. Kwa hiyo haziharibiki mapema. So depending on the syllabus, kuna watu wengine ambao wanaweza wakaisoma hii as a different category. Kwa mtaangalia katika revision zenu nyinyi shuleni mmejifunza nini. Kama mmejifunza kwamba trans fats ni different, then that's okay, but essentially the trans fats are unsaturated fats. Nina hiyo chart hapa ambayo nimeattach. It will help you guys to see the different types of fatty acids, and then with also the example of the different sources ambazo unaweza ukazipata, as well as the health implications. Lastly, we will be discussing functions of lipids. So the first function of lipids ni source of energy, obviously, ambapo fats zina serve as the body's primary long-term energy reserve. So whenever the body needs energy, it will go to carbohydrates. But when carbohydrates are no longer there, inaenda wapi? Itaenda kwenye fats. So fats act as a body's energy reserve. Now, each gram of fat stores about twice the amount of energy that a carbohydrate or a protein would store. So they're very useful source of energy. Then lipids also help with body temperature regulation, ambapo tuna zile adipose tissues under the skin. So we have fats that are stored within the adipose tissues under the skin, and these fats help regulate the body temperature by insulating the body from heat loss. Kwa hiyo kwenye mazingira yale ya baridi, badala ya lose heat, the fat deposits under the skin, they help the body from losing the heat. Then we also have the lipids helping the body with the absorption of fat soluble vitamins. So hapa tunaongelea some vitamins kama vile vitamin A, vitamin D, E and K. Hizi haziwezi kuyayuka kwenye maji. So they are not soluble in water. So they dissolve under in fat, and it's because they dissolve in fat, the body is able to absorb them. So we have dietary lipids which serve as biological carriers, ambazo hizi vitamins kama A, D, E and K, they're able to be transported to different parts of the body. So the vitamins, these vitamins that we're talking about, they're very essential for vision, body health, the antioxidant activity, and also blood clotting. So because we need the vitamins, but the vitamins are fat soluble, so fats are needed to help, so we can see the functions of the lipids there. Then we also have blood pressure control. We have essential fatty acids like the prostaglandins, which help with the regulation of blood pressure by directly either, for example, dilating. They either dilate the blood vessels to reduce the pressure, au zinaweza zika constrict them in order to raise the blood pressure. So ina regulate, either constricting or dilating. Then we also have regulation of the body immune system, ambayo we have some fatty acids ambazo zina act as essential signal molecules. So zinaweza zika act as a structural component ya zile cell membranes or also direct antigens. So for example, we have the specialized lipids ambazo tumeziongelea kama prostaglandins ambazo zinakuwa synthesized from fatty acids. So we have the prostaglandins which are made from fatty acids, and because of this, they are essential for the body. Then we also have protection of vital organs. So we have organs, for example, kidneys, we have the heart. These organs are very essential to the body. They're like the foundation of the body. So if they are easily able to get damaged, that's a problem. So we have the fat deposits around them that help protect them from physical damage. And it is because of this, these body organs are able to be protected. So fat protects these vital organs. Then we also have the last function, which is the lipids forming parts of the membrane. So we have the phospholipids, and then we also have cholesterol. These form the lipid bilayer of the cell membrane. And this bilayer or within the cell membrane acts as a barrier that regulates the movement of substances into or out of the cell. And it is because of this, they are thus a very, very important component of the cell membranes. So that's generally it katika functions za lipids. I will attach below link ambayo itawapeleka kwenye site kama mtu atahitaji hizi notes za ambazo vitu vyote tumevikava nyuma, mnaweza mkazipata kupitia hiyo link hapo chini. In summary, leo tumeangalia proteins and its different types, pia na functions, na pia tumeangalia lipids ambazo pia katika lipids tumeangalia structure ya fats, tumeangalia the different types of fatty acids, na pia tumeangalia functions za lipids in general. That's it for today. See you in the next lesson, ambayo katika next lesson tutaongelea vitamins, minerals and the other dietary components.